Indie Beacon Radio with hostess Charlotte Canion. Welcome to Indie Beacon Radio, where creative souls can find help in marketing their creations. You can send questions for each show on Twitter using the hashtag IndieBeacon. Now sit back and enjoy learning about our guest for this show.
I'm your host, award-winning author Charlotte Canion, and our guest this evening is a dynamic, result-driven leader who is the author of the book, Fail, Get Up, Never Give Up, The Power of Transformation. It's Desi Tahiraj. Desi, welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me, and I am blessed to be in this show so we can help everyone that get burnout in a time of change.
I know. Well, but before we get into your book, I think our listeners would love to know a little bit about your background, where you're from and, a little bit about your family. So give us a little bit of your history.
Yes, I would love to. As you can see from my language, I am not Native American, right? So I born in Albania, communist country Albania in that time. And living in totalitarianism, repression, my family suffered from that system. So we survived in that time, for sure. And I have 5 sisters, but I was blessed to have wonderful parents who teach us only love. So my sisters are all over the Europe, and one is in Philadelphia, and I am blessed to be here in Fort Lee, New Jersey, next to Manhattan, which I work for Columbia University for 17 years.
Very good. When did you come to America?
Well, after communism finished, I finished the law school, and I became attorney of the city for 4 years. And after working in a court and city hall as in a law office, then one guy from Brooklyn came in my office one day, and then we got married. And all of a sudden, I find myself in Manhattan and Brooklyn, New York, actually.
Well, welcome to America.
Yes, after 23 years.
Okay, well, let's dive in. It was interesting because you had sent me a little bit of your book and, of course, your bio and everything, and you have a fascinating history. It could be an hour-long show, I mean, if we really wanted it to. But I have to share with you, I think this is a God thing that I'm the one that's interviewing you, because the part that you sent me talked about how you had the trauma and you had to go, you went in the hospital and where you, were unconscious and unaware of what was going on. And the reason I share that with you is about 6 weeks ago, my 44-year-old daughter had a stroke and she was in a coma for over 5 weeks. And I appreciate you expressing what you remember about being in the hospital, and because it makes me a little bit understand, what was probably going on in my daughter's head. And, she's doing better now. She's speaking and beginning to walk and all, but that has to be traumatic. So I understand your book is a collection of stories, but tell us a little bit more about that story, because I think it's fascinating, and I think people will really relate to it because everyone in our families, somewhere someone has gone through that.
Yes, it's true. Yes, I would love to. And it's because we come from different cultures, family grow up, and in a time that the parents perceive you as a people, and in that time you grow your personality and what kind of personality traits you have, that you are prone of burnout, or because stroke. What is the stroke coming from? From not just a lifestyle, but in a way your process things, your perspective in life, and stress levels come out, immune system go down. And of course, I got sick, my eye, and after my throat, my heart, my thing, and then blood pressure go to the 240, 200, I don't know, so I don't remember, but people put me in hospital directly, and they put injection, and all of a sudden I pass out. And doctors, I remember that putting things in my chest, and I see totally white, and then and I put the hand to take it to go to God. I don't know what was, and another hand come in other side, says, push me away, says, it's not your time, and I wake up. Yeah,
That's like a near-death experience.
yeah,
I would
yeah,
have to say, you know,
yeah.
that is a near-death experience. Now, since I only had a snippet of your book, and I know that your book is to empower others to drive through whatever that they're going through, give us a little, you know, some little snippets of other things that they can find in your book.
Yes, because we come from different cultures and different backgrounds and different perspective in a life, and we work in a workplace, and we bring with us our limitations and everything, and the strengths, of course. Then is how you, as a high achievers, of course, we ask something from the life, right? Because burnout is a cost of high achievers. They ask too much of themselves. We push ourselves to the limits. And by doing that, is that when I was a little, I put a wall. The communists, they didn't let us to get married. They didn't let us to go to school or to get a job. So
Wow.
For me, being 7, 8 years old, seeing my older sister, it was finished the high school to go to the college, and they don't let her to marry the guy she loved. So in that case, I make a decision in that time, a little girl, and I says, I don't let anybody to hurt me. So that it was decision of the little girl, and whenever the man come close to me, I put a blind in front of me, because I was the fear of rejection, because we was rejecting every single moment we go everywhere. So that the burnout is a process. And because of limitation in our mindset, create that. It's a limitation of a process of thinking, of what we say to ourselves all the time, that produce the results. And especially women, we have that kind of attitude where we overthink things, and we easy to judge people, and we don't see ourselves a lot. So to be self-aware of our action, of our thinking, of our doing is a must. First step to have a good relationship with others.
Yeah. Well, and what you were saying is what we dwell on, we go towards. So if we dwell on the negative, we'll go towards that. If we dwell on the positive, we will go to, you know, toward the positive.
Exactly.
We're going to have to go to a break here in a minute, but I want you to answer a question for me, because while you keep talking about the culture, is it still that way over in your mother country?
No, thank you heaven, communism is finished 25 years ago or more.
Okay.
30 almost. And no, it's open mindset now. They are open to Europe and everything, and integrated culturally and economically. And I am grateful that my home country is developing much better after communism collapsed.
Well, that's a good thing, because I'm looking at you and I'm going, you can barely be much older than 30 or 35 anyway.
Well, that's what you think. Thank you.
Well, we're going to take a break here, but you have to stay tuned, because Desi's got so many stories and so much meat and so much you can latch onto, and we'll give you information on how you can get a hold of her to come speak, or how you can get a hold of her book. So let's let our sponsors take a little break right now.
Do you send book sales to a company that takes most of your money? Want to earn more money from your book sales? Do you want a bookstore that supports you? Introducing a new bookstore for indie authors and small press, B4R.store. Earn up to 80% of your book sales and learn how to market yourself. B4R.store. Join us for the 6th Annual Authors Marketing Event in Granbury, Texas on July 23rd to the 25th, 2021, where authors share ideas and learn from the professionals over a 2-day weekend. Receive your book marketing certification from the only organization in the world that has been doing it for 5 years, Authors Marketing Guild, a membership-based organization that supports authors from around the world. Learn more at ame.authorsmarketingguild.com. Sponsored by IndieLector.store, a bookstore that pays authors their fair share.
Hello, I am the author and poet Denise Bryson. I am the author of The Things That Cross My Mind, Love's Reality, both in book and audio form. I am also noted as one of the best poets of 2011. I have 2 new projects coming up. One is the Blinky series, where Blinky tells us all about our coins and our bills for our children. I also have a book coming out called Say Ye. It's quotes from Denise Bryson, just inspirational and that will help you along the way.
Welcome back to Indie Beacon Radio. Don't forget to like us, follow us, or subscribe to one of our many channels. Now, here is your host for today's show.
Well, welcome back. This is Charlotte Canion, and we're speaking with Desi Tahiraj. And Desi has written this fabulous book, The Power of Transformation. It's got this long title, and I'll let her share that with you. But Desi, as I was talking, we were discussing earlier, about some of the trauma that you had gone through, and we all have those within our lives. But when did you make the decision that you were going to share your stories with the world, and how hard was that to, put into paper, your almost, I guess you say, in between life experience?
Well, because I would like to share with people to not go through what I went through. And it's really important to share that, because to deny yourself from living life in a full is sad. And I did 50 years denying the rights to myself, to love someone or to share something. To share, for me, I was the most private person you can hear of. And by meeting a wonderful mentor, Mr. Jack Canfield, I am blessed to learn the success principles which I am eager to teach everyone today. And he is not just my mentor, he is my hero. He teach me how to come out of my shell and to get out in the world. When my friend at Columbia University working there tried to promote me and to say how good worker I am, I was hiding behind a chair and red and yellow in the face. So in that case, it was experience which I think that people ever to be sad when the bad experience appeared in life, to be grateful that happened, because there is the place where we grow. Mm-hmm. Because the failure is a stepping stone, teach you something, teach me a big time. That is the purpose of me, to come out of the shell and to teach people why we are so precious.
I've always learned that we don't learn from our successes. No. We learn from the failures. And as you those are those stepping stones that make us, who we are today. And I have to tell you, reading through your bio, we have a lot in common. We're both members of the IAOTP.
Yes.
Yes, and that's a great organization, to get to know, a lot of different people in a lot of different genres. Now, are you going to write any more books, or do you have just this one that you're concentrating on and you're speaking on it as well?
Well, this is the first book, but I have two books in my list, at least in a short period. Is the steps burnout, what's next, and what the executives or managers has to do in work, and how the steps scientifically proven to collaborate with scientists. So I need to give exactly the steps that I need to do in order. Of course, I have online program now, 8 weeks, that I am promoting the following weeks. So I'm extremely humble to help people on that particular. And also we have something else in common together. You being in a national media in New York, right? In
Yes.
2017.
Yes. We have a lot in common.
Yes, I've been there on 2019.
Got you. Yeah, it's an interesting journey, and you never know which door is going to open next. It's just phenomenal. Now I have to ask you. You said you're near Manhattan, and of course we've got COVID going on. So have you, how have you adapted? I'm sure you probably spoke publicly, and had your books with you. How have you been able to sell your books, during COVID? What have you done to, market them?
Well, because I am belongs to a tribe, to my tribe, and my Columbia University friends, and I developed friendship with a different kind of cities. I travel a lot last 2-3 years. I went in London, in UK twice in conferences. I become friends, long period friends with them, and in Santa Barbara and Boston and Washington, and a lot of people. So in that case, people know me in LinkedIn a lot and Facebook, and of course my fellow Albanian people. So they promote my book without me. And of course I am a member of Fortley Chambers of Commerce, which is Hope is helping me a lot with promoting my activity, and of course the book How to Help People, because organizations are going through changes, and people are going through changes, and they stuck on a rock and eating chips and watching TV and blaming and complaining. Instead, what I did, I educated people every single day with content, with videos in Facebook and LinkedIn, with newsletters and articles, and I never stop. I write this book in 3 months. So this book is written just in 3 months. Before, for me, it was impossible to write book, right? So it's depend of the mindset. When you have a growth mindset, nothing stops you. Today is the COVID-19. Tomorrow is another thing. After tomorrow, civilization go through changes every time. We are going to stop activity. We are going to stop our dreams, ever.
No, and we have to figure out ways of reinventing ourselves.
Exactly.
And what like you say, what worked today may not work tomorrow. Now I know one of your topics was arrived. I think that was a chapter in your book. Tell us a little bit about that chapter.
Well, because I went from failure to failure without losing the enthusiasm. Okay. And organizations and people go exactly the same, but people, they lose enthusiasm and they get burnout and they get sick. So that is the end. I am growth mindset, and I live outside of comfort zone every single moment. So in that case, I arrived means I am open mindset. I create what needs to be done for people to thrive, organization to thrive, to do 100 videos in 3 months, and to do 12 articles in 6 months, and to do this is Tahiraj, means to open to possibilities, and to know Charlotte and Alan, it was impossible yesterday, but it's today, right?
It is today. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is today. Well, I'm just fascinated. I can't wait to see your other new books. We'll have to do a trade on our books. I'll send you mine because mine's a collection of stories, and it's to empower people. Mine's mainly with caregivers, so that's my genre is senior caregiving or caregiving for a loved one, and it could be a child. So we have a lot in common because what I want people to do, and I think this is probably where you're coming from as well, I want people to realize that they're not alone. They're not walking this journey alone, that there's others that have walked it before them. And you happen to be one that, can, verbalize how you walked that journey, and God gave me that gift as well. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you a real quick story. When my mother passed away at the age of 92 in 2015, within 6 weeks, God said, I want you to write a book. And I literally said, but God, I didn't do real good in English. He says, no, but you're a great storyteller. We got editors. They can take care of all of that. And the rest is just history. I mean, I keep getting recognized like you do. And I go, I don't know where they come from. It's how they hear about me or how they hear about you. It's just fascinating. Well, Desi, if you'll hold on a minute, our sponsors need to have another short break. And we're going to come back and we're going to let you know how you can reach Desi and have her speak, maybe Zoom at one of your organizations, or how you can get a hold of her books. We'll be right back.
Authors Marketing Guild is a membership-owned organization designed to help authors succeed and learn how to better market and sell themselves and their books. Join us at authorsmarketingguild.com and receive so many benefits you'll wonder why you didn't join sooner. That's authorsmarketingguild.com.
Welcome back to Indie Beacon Radio. Don't forget to like us, follow us, or subscribe to one of our many channels. Now, here is your host for today's show.
Welcome back. This is Charlotte, your host, and I am having the privilege of talking to Desi Tahiraj. She is a wonderful author and a wonderful speaker. Tahiraj, I want to ask you, if you had to, in 25 words or less, say something to someone to inspire them to step out of their comfort zone and be the best they could be, what would you say to them?
Well, the greatness and success is just one step out of your comfort zone. You go outside the shell and learn another people's perspectives and mistakes before you do them, so that you cannot do all of them. In that case, if you go out of the comfort zone and you learn from everyone you speak, you're going to be someone one day.
That was very well put. Very well put. I always say that if I can't learn something new every day, then I haven't been successful that day. So I try to learn something new every single day and try to grow. It's been one of my questions I've had in my head while we've been talking. How many languages do you speak?
3.
3 different languages. I was pretty sure you had several, at least 2 or 3 in your pocket, and that makes you a little more attractive to other countries. And the neat, there has been a lot of negative with COVID, but also there has been a lot of positive. And the positive is that through Zoom, we can go out internationally even better than we did before and reach a lot more people. Give us an example of one of the most interesting or maybe funny groups that you talked to, maybe through this COVID or even before.
Oh, yeah. Because what we do, all organizations and everything we do through Zooms, right? Mm-hmm. And we have a gala of our town here in Fort Lee. We have a gala activity of the year for the businesses, and we did through Remo. And a new platform, not Zoom. And it was, you get inside and you see, like you go to the big hotel event, big room, and the tables inside and 6 chairs around, and you click which table you want to go. And when you click to the table, which table, you meet, let's say, the Charlene, Alan, and somebody else, and you talk, and you switch, you go to another one, and another table, and another table, and you meet everybody. In the same time, it was funny because they put inside the funny story and the playing in a piano and the magician, and it was really, really fun.
Oh, that sounds really fascinating. I hope that kind of reaches all our areas, because as you mentioned, you're up there in the New Jersey area and we're down in Texas. Alan's in Austin and I'm in the Dallas area. So, you know, we're covering half the United States here, but I haven't heard that in an event like that. That sounds really intriguing. Well, we're getting to the end of the show. So, Desi, I would like you to let people know how they can reach you. You know, if you've got a website, if you've got an email address, or just give us all the information that they can, you know, that we need to be able to reach.
Well, the book is Fail and Get Up and Never Give Up. Is in The Power of Transformation. Is in Amazon. They can go in Amazon and order it. Is easy. And my website is www.desitahiraj.com.
Well, Desi,
of course, I am in LinkedIn every day, so I am popular.
So they can find you just about anywhere.
Anywhere.
Okay. Desi, this has been a wonderful show. Thank you so very much. You are a beautiful, marvelous lady, and I appreciate the opportunity to have this little chit-chat with you. This is Charlotte Canion, your host, and I want you to remember that a rose is like a book. You can't know its beauty until you look at it. And a book is like a rose. You won't know its full beauty until you open it. This is Charlotte. Until next time, stay safe and have a nice day.
Thank you for listening to Indie Beacon Radio, where creative souls can find help in marketing their creations. To learn more about Indie Beacon services, to be a guest on the show, or to advertise on our show, please visit our website.
Indie Beacon Radio with hostess Charlotte Canion. Indie Beacon Radio is produced by B. Allen Bourgeois for Authors Marketing Guild LLC, copyright 2020. Voiceover by Randy James, Lydia Bello, and B. Allen Bourgeois. To be a sponsor of the show or for more information, please email us at info@authorsmarketingguild.com. To be interviewed for the show, please complete the form at radio.authorsmarketingguild.com. Music Always Rejoice by Ramcord